Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Entertainment Now podcast. My name is Nick.
I'm Ian.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, of course, make sure you drop us a comment, give us a thumbs up, all the YouTube-y kind of stuff. If you're on your favorite podcatcher, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. What's been going on, Ian? I know I ask you this every single fucking week. And
I know
and
the
you
exact
have
same answer.
Zero fucking answer every
Let's
week.
see. Nothing.
Nothing. So have you been watching this? So I know I'm not a big Netflix person. I've never been a big Netflix person.
I watch it when there's stuff I want to watch on it, but
yeah, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the last time I watched something on Netflix. It's been that long. So Netflix for years has been threatening that they're going to end password sharing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, like, of everyone I know that uses Netflix, like, I would say a vast majority of those people don't pay for Netflix.
Right.
They use a friend's password, their parents' password, somebody, somewhere. They're using somebody else's password. And it seems like Netflix is finally going to put an end to all of that. I guess they sent out emails a couple of weeks ago to people and told subscribers that they were going to start charging. I think it was like $6.99. I think it was like $6.99 a month to share a password with somebody outside of their household, which is actually a deal. Because I want to say I think it's $2 cheaper to do it that way than to actually have your own subscription.
True.
So I think it's kind of a smart way to go about it for Netflix. I'm not sure how effective it's going to be. I don't know how they're going to.
Well, see, this is the thing. So how do they figure out where you're using it from? That's the thing.
So there's location services already built into Netflix.
Right, but I mean, I've got a VPN on my computer, so if I'm watching on my computer, it's not showing my IP address, and I've got 2 Rokus in the house. Yeah. So if I'm watching on one TV or another, I mean that I can understand. But then what if I'm on my phone? What if I'm watching it on my phone?
How about this? Here, I'll throw something else out there too. What if you travel a lot for work?
Right.
And one day you're in New York, and then the next day you're in Chicago, and the next day after that you're in Phoenix. Like, how do they stop, or how do you
differentiate between the two?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
That I don't know.
You're gonna have to figure that out, because they would. If I was a traveler and they did that and started charging me every new area I was in, I'd be pissed. I'd cancel it in a second.
I think they would just lose a lot of business.
Yeah.
And that's why they said they lose like $1 billion a year from people sharing passwords. So I guess,
well, I mean, it can't be that much, because the people who are using those passwords, are they like, if they didn't have those passwords, would they be likely to sign up? Some of them would, for sure.
I'm sure a lot of them would.
I think a lot of them wouldn't.
Really?
Or they'd sign up for a short time and then cancel.
Maybe.
Because they obviously aren't interested. See, I have it. I pay for it because there might be shit I want to watch. I did use someone else's password for a little while, but it just seemed to me like it made more sense just to have my own.
Yeah.
If I was going to use it regularly. So, but if it was something I was never going to use, but I wanted to watch Stranger Things, I would just get it for a month and then cancel it.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I'm not a big fan of anything that's on there. So, like, I don't really care one way or another.
Stranger Things and Cobra Kai would probably be about the only things I like on there.
Yeah, I think Cobra Kai is probably the only thing I've ever watched on Netflix. Right.
Yeah, as far as original stuff goes, I mean, they got a lot of content, but and I've watched stuff, but as a rule, as far as original content goes, I can't really think of anything off the top of my head. that I like on Netflix that keeps me going, other than Cobra Kai. And to be honest with you, once Cobra Kai and Stranger Things are done, I might not have any reason to keep it because
Yeah.
like you, I don't really watch a lot of shit on it. So
My wife watches a majority of whatever she watches
on
on
Netflix,
Netflix.
yeah.
So
See, in that case, it would make sense. I mean, but for me, I think because Cobra Kai is one more season,
yeah.
Stranger Things is one more season, and they're both going to probably come out around the same time or the same year anyway. When
Yeah.
that's done, and only because of the writer strike, but when that's done, yeah,
Yeah.
I really can't think of.
Unfortunately, I'll have to keep Netflix.
Well,
Just like I
right,
said,
but there's other things you have that or don't have that I do. So I mean, I get that. There's like, I mean, really, I could get rid of Paramount except when a new show comes on,
yeah.
a new Star Trek show, because I've got all the Star Trek on DVD and Blu-ray anyway.
Yeah.
All the good
Oh,
Star Trek on Blu-ray and
yeah.
DVD,
I'm trying
which
to
is
think
still a
like
lot.
I've got I don't know. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've got a lot of streaming services, but like a lot of them are like bundled. Like my Hulu, I watch a lot of Hulu. I watch a lot of
Yeah.
Hulu. I watch a lot of uh Disney Plus. Those are probably the two streaming services I watch the most.
Mhm.
They're bundled into my Verizon plan. So I mean, I really yes, I'm paying for them, but I'm paying for them through Verizon.
And discounted, I think, right?
Yeah, it's discount, I believe also.
Mhm.
But outside of that, like I do have Paramount Plus, but I have a technically I'm a college student. So I have a I think I pay like $2.99 a month
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah,
for Paramount Plus.
because Paramount's got all the soccer stuff on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Switch and I guess I'm gonna start paying for Peacock because I do watch some stuff on Peacock. Peacock has been free to Comcast users since Peacock was created. Was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whenever it was? Couple years ago.
Uh, yeah. I think
That was
2019 or early 2020.
yeah, whatever it was in the last couple of years, but it's been free to Comcast users since then. But Comcast announced that I think it's in July that they are going to do away with that,
Mhm.
and you're going to have to start paying for Peacock, which
Right.
sucks because I do like Peacock. They do have a lot of shows on there.
Right.
It's like the what did I watch on Peacock? I think was it the new Saved by the Bell was on there, which I thought was really good. I think the new was it that '90s show? I think was on there also.
No, that was Netflix.
Are you sure about that?
That was
Okay,
Netflix original.
okay,
So there's that for you in terms of Netflix, I guess, too.
yeah, I guess.
So because I've only watched a couple episodes of it. So
Yeah, I watched it in like 2 days. I thought it was really good. So yeah, I don't know. There's I can probably get rid of. I guess it's not HBO Max anymore. Now it's just Max. I guess I can probably get rid of that. I don't watch a whole lot of things on HBO, other than I did start watching Ballers, but I don't know.
yeah, every time I think about getting rid of one, though, the only one that I know that I could get rid of would be Netflix. Everything else, every time I think about it, well, no, that's got that or it's got that. And
That's how they get you.
that's how they get you. But that's at least it's justifiable. You're paying for the content that they offer.
Yeah,
Apple TV. That's why I don't have it because there's no content on it that I feel is worth paying for.
yeah,
So
yeah. And it's and the only reason I have Apple TV Plus is because I'm paying $2 a month for it. So
right.
you know, it's not. I'm not paying a whole lot. I'm not paying full price for it. So, but
Right.
even that, like, I don't know. I'm not even sure if I'll still end up keeping it because, like I said, there's not a whole lot on there. I'm all that interested in watching,
No, they really need to increase their content,
and they're
but
not going to.
they're not going to because they don't want to pay the fucking writers.
Nope.
So
Well, they don't want to pay anybody anything.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's always been their problem. They paid a lot for a couple of shows. They paid a lot for the morning show. Because they that was like one of their flagship programs when they launched Apple TV Plus.
Right. But they were
And then
paying for the star power on that more than
yes,
the show.
and the same thing with the Jason Momoa show don't remember what the name of that was.
Sight or See or something like
Something
that.
like that.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
it's good, but it doesn't. I don't. Doesn't sound interesting to me.
I'm
I'm
sure they're
not big.
probably.
I'm not big on the post or dystopian type stuff anyway.
Yeah,
Generally speaking.
they. I'm sure they're probably paying a lot for Ted Lasso, but I think Ted Lasso is making them more money than what they're paying out for
Well,
that.
that's good. That's good. Well, it's probably the only show they've got that's keeping people watching
Oh yeah, because
at
I
this
think
point.
I mean, it's pretty highly rated. I mean, there's a lot of people who really love that show.
Mhm. What network has or what service has that show Barry on it? Because that's pretty popular too.
That's a good question. I just saw that like within the last couple of days too.
Because I think that's coming to an end. It's like its final season or something like that.
Let me see if I can find it. It is. It's on Hulu.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh no, I'm
Well,
sorry. It's on It's on Max.
oh, okay.
There's
Oh,
four seasons of it,
yeah.
and it's got 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
So
I hear lots of good things about it, but I haven't gotten
yeah,
around to watching it yet.
so maybe I'll watch that once I'm done with Ballers.
Yeah.
But that's not what we didn't come here to ramble on about streaming services. That was one
No,
of
but
the
it does come up in our conversation today, so
it
or it
does it
should.
does.
Yeah.
So this is the something we've done since the beginning of this podcast. Is the first show of every month we talk about what's coming out for movies. So we're talking about theatrical releases and we're talking about new releases for streaming for that month. So this is all stuff that's coming out in the month of June. The last couple of months have been, especially last month was definitely kind of there wasn't a whole lot last month. I feel like there's more. I think there's more coming out this month than there was last month, though.
Possibly. I haven't really, to be honest with you, I didn't look. I know there's a few things that I'm excited about seeing. So
Well, I'll run through. I'll run through some of the movies first because, like last week, I don't think we last month we didn't talk about any streaming stuff last week. Last month, I don't think.
yeah, we
Uh,
did. We talked about White Man Can't Jump. We
that
talked
was the month.
about
That was the month before, I believe. Oh, that was last month that came out. But
yeah, yeah.
we
There were
didn't
a
go.
few.
Yeah, we didn't go over a whole lot of it. I think there's more stuff streaming this month that I'm interested in than there was last month. But movie
Okay.
wise, there's not a whole lot coming out. June 2nd, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Mm.
I probably won't see it when it's in the theater. I thought the first one was good.
Mm.
This is
I haven't seen it.
this is
I don't know. I'm
the
just not interested. It just doesn't. I don't know. For some reason, it's not.
I'm not a huge cartoon person, but
I don't mind. I don't
but the
mind it, but
previews, yeah, the previews look pretty good. It's one of those I'll watch it when it's on. It'll be on Disney Plus eventually.
right, right. Well, none of the other Spider-Man movies are.
They are now.
Oh, are they?
I believe
Oh,
they are now.
cool.
At least, or maybe they're not, and they're going to be
Yeah.
like soon. I thought they. I just saw them announce something about them going to be on Disney Plus, but I don't know if they're on there yet. But they will be soon. There's I was scrolling through the list, and there's a movie coming out this month. It's going to be on Amazon called Median. Do you know what Median is? So it's Median is where like Pablo Escobar was from, and I love Entourage. It's one of my favorite TV shows ever. One of the movies that Vincent Chase makes in Entourage is a movie called Median about he plays Pablo Escobar, and it's like this big bomb. It's like the movie bombs, they lose like all their fucking money making this movie
Mm.
because they spent like all their money buying the rights to this movie, and they like ram it through the to get it made, and then it like absolutely fucking bombs, and they end up selling the rights to the movie for $1 so
Wow.
so when I saw Medea, I've got no interest in seeing it, but when I saw it on the list, I was like, hey, it made me think of Entourage, so I thought it was kind of funny. But trying to see what else is coming out. So June 7th, Avatar: The Way of Water is going to be on Disney Plus.
Yep. That's
So
because I haven't seen it yet. I really
that's when
want to
I'll watch it. So
yeah.
because
I liked the first one, and I've been excited for the second one.
yeah,
But it just kind of came and went, and I didn't really. I mean, it didn't really come and go because it was $1 billion movie. But
yeah, it's huge.
I just
Do
I'll
you,
wait for streaming.
do Do you know what ended up doing in theaters?
No, I don't know the exact totals. No.
Let me take a look here. I think it did pretty well.
Well, it had to because it cost a fortune and a half. If it didn't do $1 billion, it would have been considered a loss.
Box office was 2.3 billion.
Yeah, yeah. It needed to do at least $1 billion to break even. I think is was what they were saying because of
So
the cost of it.
so where does that put that in, like, how close, what did the first Avatar movie end up doing? Do you remember?
2.9, I think.
So it's pretty close to
Mhm.
the first one.
Right.
So I was trying to see where it list of highest grossing movies. So the first Avatar, yeah, you're right. It did 2.9.
Mm.
So what did I say it did? Oh, so it is the third highest grossing movie of all time.
Mm-hmm. What are the top five?
So Avatar, Avengers Endgame, which Avengers Endgame was number one until they re-released
Re-released Avatar.
Avatar for the fourth fucking time.
Right.
And then Avatar The Way of Water is three.
Mm.
Titanic is number four. And then Force Awakens is number five.
Mm.
And
Zoe
then
Saldana is in three of the five top grossing movies of all time.
is she?
She's in both Avatar movies and she's in Endgame.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. And then number six is Infinity War.
So yeah, so that's 4 out of 10.
And those are all the movies that have grossed over 2 billion worldwide.
Right. Yeah, I don't remember the exact number they were shooting for, but I think it was $1 billion that Avatar Way of Water had to make. Otherwise, it was a complete loss.
Yeah, because
Like
it's
it
like
would have bought $1 billion movie or say $900 million movie gross would have been a bomb.
yeah. Which is funny to even think about. Like,
Yeah,
you spent that much money to make a movie.
right. It
So I mean,
worked. I mean, I guess they
yeah,
made the
I
money.
guess you made 2.3 billion, so they made some money off of it.
Well, they doubled what they needed to make.
Yeah, I
So they
guess.
made a profit. They made a good profit on that movie.
Yeah, but
And I think part of that is will transfer over to the third movie, so the third movie won't have to do as much. Maybe if I haven't
because
really looked at
they filmed them together, didn't they?
no.
Oh, I thought they did.
He filmed some of it. Some
Oh,
of
okay.
three is filmed, but no, they all went into the second movie basically.
Man, because it would make a lot more sense to film them together because it's cheaper to film them together.
I think it would have cost $1 billion to do both movies together.
That wouldn't be
A
bad.
$1 billion budget on two movies. Granted, $1 billion budget on two movies that will probably gross, 4 billion, but still, if you have $1 billion movie budget, I think you're insane.
But it's gonna gross a lot. It's gonna gross like over 5 billion between
They
the two.
weren't guaranteed that with the second one.
All the estimates I saw was it was going to be a $2 billion movie.
Still
The
not a
third
guarantee.
and the third one is going to be a $2 billion movie also.
Probably.
If not 2 billion, 1.8. You
Right.
know, it's going to be pretty damn close to a billion. And that's why I said between the two of them, it'll be 5 billion between the two of them.
Right.
We're pretty damn close. 4.5 to 5 billion, I'd say.
Yeah,
I think
it's
is
still
a solid estimate. So yeah, if your budget is because your budget's going to be their budget's probably pretty damn close to that separately.
400 to 500 million, I think, is what the budgets are, or what the budget was.
Okay.
But then you figure in advertising and everything else. That's why it had to gross at least $1 billion.
Yeah, but you're going to spend more than that making those two movies separately.
I get it. It makes sense in that sense, but where does that end? Then you're making now if you want to make a movie of the same scale, you've got to spend $1 billion. Studios go bankrupt on one loss.
Well, I don't think that would never become the norm.
That's what they said about $300 million movies, and that's the norm now.
Well, a lot of that is because everything has gone up exponentially over the last 40 years.
Mm.
You know,
Still, And then you get a movie that's cost $10 million to make, and it makes $140 million.
Because here's the thing, like when they
and
made
it's just as good.
when they made the Lord of the Rings movies, they filmed all those together.
Yeah, but it didn't cost them $1 billion.
No, but they were really fucking expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
it was the most expensive movies ever made at that time.
Right, but it wasn't $1 billion, and that was three movies.
And it didn't set a precedent either. I'm just saying I don't think filming the second and third movie together with a huge budget like that would set a precedent moving forward for any other movies.
You may be right. It's just an awful lot of money.
Because really, I mean, because look at it this way: if this was Chris Cameron, who had never made a movie before, he's not getting a $1 billion budget to make two movies.
No,
only James Cameron making Avatar 2 and 3 is going to get that budget. Fucking
perhaps.
Marvel's not going to. Marvel won't give you a budget like that either. Like nobody's going to give you that kind of budget. Only James Cameron making those two movies will get a budget like that.
Yeah. Well, Marvel will spend $1 billion on Marvel movies, but they'll spend it on 10 Marvel movies.
Yes, exactly.
Or seven Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Or 5 Marvel movies and a TV show.
Yeah.
So Guardians is doing pretty good. Guardians 3.
What did it end up? I don't even know what it's made so far.
I mean, it's still technically within
it's still in the
window.
Theaters.
Yeah.
I just saw it again a couple weeks ago. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot more than the second movie.
Okay. Yeah, the second one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first.
No. So box office, according to Wikipedia, I don't know when this is as of, is $678.5 million.
Yeah, but is that domestic?
That's worldwide.
Oh, that seems low.
On a $250 million budget.
Yeah, double that for the advertising and stuff then.
Yeah. So
I mean, it's still in the black, but still,
Man, people are really fucking down on this Marvel phase, though. People are really down on this Marvel phase. People have not Spider-Man is the only thing that people have liked on this phase.
Well, and Guardians, I've seen
outside of Guardians, but a lot of people don't like Guardians. I mean, there's a lot of people that are hating on the Guardians movie also, but
there's people who are going to hate on everything.
Yeah, but outside
we'll get to that later in the
outside of Guardians 3 and Spider-Man, they've hated everything else that this phase has had in it.
I haven't hated any of it. Granted, I think it's not as good as the other phases, for sure, but I haven't hated any of it. For example, Doctor Strange 2. I thought it was a great movie. I just didn't like what they did with Scarlet Witch. I didn't like that. That's a story detail. That's not a quality thing. That's just a story detail.
Doctor Strange was the last phase.
So what's the new phase?
So phase 5 is I'm sorry. Actually, Spider-Man was the last phase also. So they've hated everything. They've hated everything that's been in phase 5 so far. So I was thinking phase.
Well, what is phase 5?
Because
it's just
we're only in the second. That's why.
Yeah.
So they hated everything in phase 4.
Phase 4 was very unpopular. Yes.
Yeah, because everyone hated Black Widow,
which I liked.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, was it the best? No. But it was also.
I thought it was good. I've watched it like 4 times.
I think Black Widow would have been a better movie had it been released before Infinity War.
Yeah.
Before her death, I think it would have been a better movie. I really like Shang-Chi.
I love Shang-Chi.
Eternals was not a good movie.
It was okay.
Yeah. It was okay. Spider-Man No Way Home was a fantastic movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked Doctor Strange.
I liked it, but it wasn't as good as the first one, and I really just didn't like what they did with Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I had some big issues with that.
Other than that, I mean, the movie's fantastic. Yeah. It's beautifully shot.
Thor: Love and Thunder, it was good. I've never been a big fan of any of the Thor movies. The first one, I think, was the best.
I like the third one a lot because maybe the things that worked in Thor 3 are probably the things that hurt Love and Thunder.
Yeah, there's a little bit too much of the like campiness, I think.
Right, right. And those are
Yeah,
the things I kind of liked about Thor Ragnarok because it was
yeah,
a heavy story. It was everything's destroyed. His whole world is destroyed.
yeah.
So it's a
And it
heavy movie. They have
and
that
it
levity.
sets up Infinity War.
And it sets up Infinity War. But to have that levity in there made sense. Maybe you don't need that with Love and Thunder, and because that's the complaint. I haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah,
that's the complaints I hear. One of the complaints I hear about it is the
and then
comedy was just too much.
yeah, and then Phase 4 ended with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which I thought was a fantastic fucking movie.
Right. It
Was
was
it as
nominated
bad?
for Oscars,
Yeah,
right?
was it? Yeah, Angela Bassett was.
Okay. Yeah.
She won. She won actually. She
Did
was the
she?
first. She was the first uh, actor or actress from a superhero movie to win an Oscar.
Yeah. That makes sense because the Academy doesn't usually pay much
No.
attention to anything that's like that,
Yeah.
sci-fi of any kind.
Yeah. Was it as good as the first Black Panther movie? No.
Yeah.
Because I think, you miss not having Chadwick Boseman was a huge hole in the second movie. But
Right.
I thought they did a really good job with it though.
Right.
And then in a phase 5, okay, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, wasn't the best movie,
No, it was
but
good. Again, it was another movie that's fantastic to watch because
it's it's the movie that's launching
Phase 5.
this not even past phase 5 into all the way through phase 6,
Right.
which you're ending with Avengers Secret Wars. So I mean, it's a movie that was necessary to set up all the rest of it.
Right.
Uh, you
Which
know,
I think is probably what hurt it the most because it is just a setup movie.
yeah,
I mean, there's really no, aside from your main characters ever getting out of the the quantum
the
realm.
quantum realm.
Um, and if they don't, it's like they can get out in the next movie. So there's really uh no real threat at the end of it. It's just
Yeah,
it's really just that's my problem with it because I liked it. I thought there was a lot of good stuff in it, but it was just a setup movie.
yeah. And then the TV shows for phase 4, which was phase 4 had really good shows, I thought. I could scroll down to the list. So you had I really liked them. So WandaVision was fantastic. Falcon and the Winter Soldier was fantastic.
I
Loki
loved
was
Falcon.
fantastic. You know,
Falcon, Loki,
Hawkeye
Hawkeye.
was great.
Yep.
I have not yet watched Moon Knight or Miss Marvel.
I
I
liked Miss
thought,
Marvel. Miss Marvel was good.
yeah.
Um, I have not watched Moon Knight yet either.
By the way,
But Miss Marvel was
Miss Marvel just died in the comics, but
yeah, I saw that. Miss Marvel was good. I have not watched Moon Knight, and She Hulk was a huge disappointment.
She-Hulk was good until the ending of the
Right,
series.
like well,
Was she,
once you look at it as a whole, too, it's like nothing ever happens.
yeah,
Like nothing's really happening, and then when it does at the end, it's dumb. It doesn't. It
yeah.
just doesn't work. So, yeah.
But so June 9th, you got Transformers Rise of the Beast coming out. Not a big Transformers fan. It's another one of those where
Yeah.
I'll watch it eventually, maybe
Yeah.
when it's on
Well,
some kind of streaming service. I say that, but I haven't watched any of the last like 7
right.
Transformers
Well,
movies.
and that's what we were talking off camera. I watched the first one. It was okay. It was watchable. It was enjoyable, even
Yeah.
arguably. Was it great? No, but it was enjoyable. Second one, not so enjoyable. Third one was god awful, and I stopped. I haven't watched any since, and like I couldn't. I still can't remember if it's if there. I know there's at least two more Transformers movies, and then Bumblebee. I think is what it
Yeah.
is.
I think the first
So
one is the only one I've ever seen.
yeah, it's like I said, the second one's at least somewhat watchable, but it's not as good as the first. And like I
Yeah.
said, the first one's just enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like I said, third one was god awful. The fourth one, Age of Extinction, I think it's called.
I think so.
And then the last one, the fifth one was Last Night, where there's like fucking time travel going on.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, and Mark Wahlberg's in it. I'm like, he's not enough of a draw for me for anything, to be honest with you.
The one thing that's probably I'm looking forward to the most in June comes out June 16th. And that's The Flash.
Yes.
That and I'm
The
not I am not a big DC person. I
Yeah,
have been highly, highly critical of the DC movies.
right.
This is, I think, the first one where like I am really excited
Excited.
to see
Yeah.
this one.
I've been excited because I am a DC guy, but I've been very disappointed with the DC output. Um, and it's not that the movies they've made have been bad, with the exception of Wonder Woman 84. Wonder Woman 84 was not good.
No.
Um, and this the I might be in the minority here. I don't know where everyone falls on it. The Zack Snyder cut of Justice League is 1,000 times better than the.
Absolutely. Than
I've,
the
I've I've
theatrical.
seen people say the exact opposite.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
love
don't.
the Zack Snyder cut.
Yeah, the Zack Snyder cut is good. Um, and same with Batman v Superman. His extended cut, the cut that he should have released in the theaters, not the studio fucking version,
Yeah.
is good. It's fantastic, and it's
It
a
fixed
nice.
all the holes I had in the movie.
Watching Batman v Superman in the theater, you're like it's like you're only getting half the movie because everything just doesn't make sense. It's all rushed, and
Yeah.
that's studio interference. So you see Zack Snyder's version, and okay, now it all fucking makes sense.
It all works.
So I've been a fan of this stuff, and it's all good stuff. It's just that Justice League shouldn't have come out when it did. Batman v Superman should have been the third Superman movie, not the second one.
Yeah.
And they should have actually had a Batman movie with Ben Affleck before that too, to
Yes.
set it all up. Marvel got it right. Just use that model. They didn't
Yeah.
want to. They didn't want to start at the beginning. They wanted Avengers money right away, and
Yes.
that's the fucking problem.
And James Gunn is leading it all now,
Yeah.
so that
Well,
will all be fixed moving forward.
the Flash doesn't have anything to do with him.
No. That's why I
So,
said. And that's why I said moving forward.
yeah, I'm curious to see what he's going to do because I still have not seen his Suicide Squad yet, but I've heard it's good. It's better than
It
the
is.
first one.
I like the first one better,
Do
but
you? Okay. And to be
not.
that's another
And
example.
it's only because I thought the characters were better or stronger in the first movie.
Okay.
Nothing. The second movie, there's nothing like I don't have any issues with the way it was shot or anything. It was just like the characters themselves. I think were better characters that fit better into the movie.
Gotcha. Which it's a movie I need to see anyway. But I Guardians of the Galaxy was a Marvel property that, like Ant-Man, I didn't like. Why are you doing this? You've
Yes.
got a good thing going. Just leave it alone. And James Gunn made a fantastic film.
Absolutely.
And then he made another good film. Wasn't fantastic, but it was good.
It was good.
And I haven't seen the third one. So I'm okay with James Gunn taking a shot at DC because somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
Because DC dropped the ball big time
Multiple
back in
times.
2000. 2013. If they had started doing what they should have been doing then, and done Man of Steel 2, another Batman movie with Ben Affleck to set up everything.
They've been
And
a
hell,
much
even
different place.
maybe throw the Wonder Woman movie in, but that's kind of fine where it is. But still, set everything up, have your setup, and then make your Justice League.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so I'm really looking forward to Flash.
Yeah,
of course, it's got Michael Keaton reprising his role.
That's like 80% of what's bringing me into it, to be honest with you.
And it's got Ben Affleck playing Batman in it, which
that's probably All right, so Michael Keaton's like 60%, 20% is Ben Affleck, and then the rest of it's just I want to see the movie.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. June 21st is when Secret Invasion premieres on Disney Plus,
and that I'm super excited about too.
So that's the new MCU show that they're doing. Sam Jackson is finally going to make his triumphant return to the MCU after being gone for several years now.
Well, I mean, he was set up. The Secret Invasion thing was set up in, was it Spider-Man? Because at the end, the post-credit scene, you find out that because he was in Spider-Man No Way Home, not No Way Home.
So this is all set up from
Far From Home,
Captain Marvel.
Well,
he's been in space.
Yeah, but Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. There was an end credit scene in Far From Home, because Sam Jackson, Nick Fury, is the one who sends him, says you need to go on this trip and
Yeah.
you got to work for us and all that.
Yeah.
So Sam Jackson's in that, but at the end there's that you find out that wasn't the real
That wasn't
Nick Fury.
Same J.
It was a different. It was a Kree or whatever
Scroll or whatever
it
is
Crawl, yeah, whatever they're called.
Oh,
so that was the setup, but that was what 5 years ago, 4 years ago,
something like that.
So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. When they did that, I was like, oh, where's that going? So yeah, Secret Invasion, I'm super excited about. I'm actually a lot more excited about a lot of their TV shows, Marvel's TV shows, than I am a lot of their movies coming up. But
yeah, because you got what the Marvels. No, the next one is what's the next movie that's coming out?
Well, the next movie I think is the Marvels.
Yeah, the Marvels, which comes out in November, and then Captain America: New World Order, which is rumored that's when they're gonna bring in X-Men.
Okay.
And then you've got Thunderbolts, Blade, those are all 2024 movies, and then
they just said Thunderbolts is probably going to get backed up because of this writer's strike.
Oh, that's true. That's all going off of
right.
Current, yeah, because these are all of everything moving forward for the next 3 years is all dependent on the writer's strike.
Right.
And then phase 6 starts with Deadpool 3, which that's when Wolverine will be introduced into the MCU.
Right. Yeah, there was something else. I don't remember what it was. There was something they were saying that Deadpool 3 is going to set up something else too.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I don't remember now, but yes, there's supposed to be something else that Deadpool 3 is supposed to be introducing that's new to the MCU. We'll see.
Oh, there's another gigantic movie that I'm forgetting in the month of June.
Is it the end of the month?
Yes, June 30th, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Yep. Now we're going to talk about people being just shitting on movies for no fucking reason. So it premiered at Cannes. It got a lukewarm response from the critics. Now I don't trust critics. I don't, especially at Cannes, because at Cannes you got snotty people. They're snotty critics.
It's France. It's France.
They're there to see art movies. They're not there to see Indiana Jones. So it's going to get a lukewarm response there.
Yeah.
But as a result, every fucking YouTube channel is like, Indiana Jones sucks. Death of the franchise. Like, you haven't fucking seen the movie yet.
Regardless of what goes on, it's the death of the franchise anyway. It's gonna be the last Indiana Jones movie.
It's gonna be the last Indiana Jones movie, but there was talk of a TV show.
Yeah. Oh, really? With Harrison Ford?
No. Harrison Ford is done. Yeah, Harrison Ford is done, regardless.
Yeah.
But it just irritates the shit out of me when these people are talking, because I've watched a few of them. They're like, "Oh, the critics are panning it. We knew it was gonna suck." You haven't seen the fucking movie yet.
Yeah.
Shut your goddamn mouth.
I really wish
the movie's gonna bomb because all you people keep saying it sucks and you haven't even fucking seen it.
Yeah. I mean, the movie, regardless of how much they shit on the movie, it's still gonna do well.
I hope so. I really do hope so.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to go just because Harrison Ford's in it. I wish would have happened with the Indiana Jones series was I really wish Shia LaBeouf had not been cast in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull,
because then they could do something with him.
Yes.
Well, I
wanted to see that happen.
The other thing is that the Phoebe Waller-Bridge character in this, there was rumor that they were going to try that some of this might be setting her up to have her own franchise as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, if the movie doesn't do well, that's not going to happen.
I think it's going to be fine.
And there's all the people, well, you can't recast Harrison Ford. Yeah, you can. You've done it a bunch of times. George Lucas did an entire series with Sean Patrick Flannery as fucking Indiana Jones.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it'll work. Like,
no,
if they were to do a resurrect River Phoenix and do a young Indiana Jones series, I think that would work. I think you could recast him in that.
Indiana Jones and the Zombies of Fate, because he'd be a fucking zombie. You can't resurrect dead people.
Well, I'm just saying though, like they have cast.
Yeah, but that's my point.
Younger versions of him.
You can't three times.
They could definitely do that. But like moving forward, if they were to do a TV series or any kind of streaming series, whatever it is, and then have a, you know, 78-year-old
No.
recast, you know,
No, that's what I'm
that
talking
won't
about.
work.
You do
Like
a young.
you can't recast the Harrison Ford version of Indiana Jones.
Well, you recast him at young. I mean,
Well, yeah,
for
because
all
there
the
is
complaints, Alden Ehrenreich did a good job being uh Han Solo.
yeah.
So Harrison Ford is recastable as a younger
Yeah, of
you know,
course
and a
he
younger
is.
character.
Of course he
So
is.
do I say that you get Alden Ehrenreich to do Indiana Jones? No, but originally they were talking like before Disney bought or right after Disney bought Disney or Lucasfilm, there was talk about Chris Pratt wanted to be Indiana Jones. That would be the biggest fucking mistake ever.
He's too old.
He's not a
Because
he's not that good of an actor either, in my opinion.
well,
He's done some good things,
I
but
think I
he's
think
not he's
if
not a real
Chris
show.
Pratt were 15 years younger, I could say yes, but it's like it's hard to. Here's the issue I run into is you're casting a role or casting a character that is what at Chris Pratt would be the age of what Harrison Ford was in uh, uh the uh the
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade. It's kind of hard to do that. I think that you've got to go with somebody younger, especially if you want to build this into like another couple of series. If you want to run 4 or 5 seasons, potentially do another movie
Right.
with this recasting
Well,
or
so
spinoff.
in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones is, and Harrison Ford was, but Indiana Jones is approximately 35 to 38 years old.
Yeah.
Depending on which timeline you go with. According to George Lucas, Indiana Jones was born in 1897.
Yeah.
And Raiders of the Lost Ark is 36. So that actually makes him 39. So you just cast Indiana Jones between or even before Temple of Doom, which was 1935. So you do like 1932. You know, there's a whole 1930, 32-year-old. You can get a 32-year-old. Hell, 32-year-olds are being cast as 23-year-olds now. And I mean, they always kind of have
and that's what I was saying though, is I'd like to see them do something younger, do like Indiana Jones and his, because the River Phoenix version, he was like a teenager then.
He was a
right?
teenager.
So
and
if you
for the most part, he was in the Young Indiana Jones. He was like late teens, early 20s in the
and
Young
that's why I
Indiana
was
Jones Chronicles.
if you do like say a 25, maybe a 27-year-old
Right.
Indiana
Yeah.
Jones,
And
then
that'll
you
give
can
you
play
about
you can play
10
that for the
years.
next 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't do
I
that
agree.
with Chris Pratt.
No. I just don't think you can do much with Chris Pratt because he's kind of a one-trick pony, in my opinion. As far as his acting, goes.
I don't know. I try to give people a little more credit than that. I think that
I know. Well, and I do too. As I was just pointing out, I don't like people bitching about shit they haven't seen. And let's face it, we haven't really seen Chris Pratt stretch himself yet. But
yeah,
whether or not he does is still up in the air. And I don't think you give him the Indiana Jones franchise to find out.
no, absolutely not. And then
that's the biggest one that I'm excited about. In fact, that and Flash are my two big ones.
Yeah, mine also. And then of course, Secret Invasion was the one on TV. And then there is one more that I need to see season 1. I know you've seen it, but the last thing I had on my list for the month of June is Star Trek: Strange New Worlds season Deuce.
Yep. So Discovery shit the bed on Star Trek in the first season. Second season, they improved it a little bit, and they improved it by adding Ensign Mount as Christopher Pike into season 2.
Yeah.
And his performance in season 2, as well as Ethan Peck's performance as Spock, got a fan petition together because it was good, and it was a huge improvement over season 1. Not enough to save it, but a huge improvement. And a fan petition was put together, and they greenlit a Captain Pike with Spock show. Season 1 is good, but I keep thinking, am I comparing it to Discovery? Because now having had Star Trek Picard season 3 and see what the potential for modern Star Trek is,
Yeah.
given its past, I reevaluated season 1 just a little bit because there's so much good stuff in it. There's some questionable stuff, but there's so much good stuff, and it's head and shoulders above anything Discovery's done.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Discovery to be done. The last season comes out at the end of the year, and I want it to be good. I really do. I want it to go out on a bang.
It's not going to.
It probably won't. And it's unfortunate. That being said, I'm in the minority. People like Discovery. I don't get it. I
Really?
don't, yeah.
I couldn't even make it through the first season.
Yeah. First season is painful. When you see, this is my problem, and we've talked about this. If you're going to play in the Star Trek sandbox or the Star Wars sandbox, the sand is there.
Yeah.
You can do what you want with the sand that's there.
Don't recreate the sand.
But don't bring in different sand. It just doesn't. You fuck it up. Star Wars has done that. This has done it, and Star Trek's done it way worse than Star Wars did. Way worse. If you're J.J. Abrams and you want to make a Star Trek movie, make a fucking Star Trek movie. Don't make something that's not Star Trek and just pop the Star Trek name on it. And that's unfortunately what Discovery is. Discovery, if it had been its own thing that was not Star Trek but Star Trek adjacent, like a because there's plenty of space operas out there that have lots of Star Trek elements to it.
The Orville.
Right, exactly.
That's actually a pretty good show.
That's a fantastic
of what
show.
I've seen of it.
That is a fantastic show. And ironically, Orville came out in competition with Discovery, and even back then everyone was like, Orville's more Star Trek than Star Trek.
Yeah.
So yes, if they should have just said, okay, we've got this great idea, we're going to do this. It's Star Trek, and then look at it, go, well, it's Star Trek, but it's not Star Trek. Do it separate. Do your own thing. I would say Discovery, if it was that, would have been a great show, but they didn't. They didn't fucking do that. They had to snap. They had to the name, the IP, and they're like, well, we're selling the IP. That's all we're doing. It's Star Trek in name, and that's going to sell it, and it did for what it's worth. But it's garbage. It's fucking garbage. And when you really break it down, don't get me wrong. There's a really good episode in season 1 of Discovery. There's more than, I'd say, 4 good episodes, maybe 5, which is half the season. Well, no, not quite, because I think there's 15 episodes, but there's 4 or 5 good episodes in season 2. There's a handful of good ones in season 3 and 4. But that's not enough to make a series.
Yeah.
Whereas Star Trek Strange New Worlds, there's only 1 episode in it that I didn't really like, and it has really nothing to do with how Star Trek it is. Because it's actually as Star Trek as it gets. It was one of those, like with the original series when they land on a planet that's like the Old West.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that, but it was more like the crew was under like this hypnosis thing, and they were like living in this fantasy realm.
Huh. Okay.
It was one of those fun episodes.
Yeah.
I don't really like the fun episodes. Give me some drama. That's really the only episode in Strange New Worlds I didn't like. Yeah. But ultimately, there's still a lot of they're not pissing on Star Trek and Strange New Worlds, but they're pissing near it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's the same people. It's the same people running Strange New Worlds as run Discovery. So, and they don't know Star Trek. They don't get it.
I'll watch it eventually. It's on my list to watch.
But I am excited to watch it. I'm not as excited as I was for Picard season 3. And that says a lot, because Picard season 3, I went in very hesitant, because season 1 and 2, same fucking problem. And that was even arguably worse, because you're taking in the actor and the character and fucking them up. But season 3 was fantastic. So the only problem is that Strange New World season 2 was filmed before Picard came out. So all the things that Picard did right, that they go, hey, okay, now we get it. They didn't have that option to learn those lessons before. So we'll see what happens.
That's all right. Moving forward, I'm sure they'll kind of grow from it. But
I hope so.
That's kind of all I had on my list for June. Did you have anything else on yours, or
no?
I think there's a lot of good stuff coming out.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's because we're hitting blockbuster season.
Yeah, we're getting closer to the summer. So
so that's I obviously we'll probably hit up The Flash. I think that's my weekend to work though.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is.
So I won't be able to see it till the week after.
I'll see it. I'll probably go. I'm sure I'll have a day off to go see it. But I don't know. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you drop us a comment and let us know what you're looking forward to coming out in the month of June. Any questions or comments, you can email us at entnowpod@gmail.com. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube, all that other fun stuff you're supposed to do. Leave us a 5-star review. Anything else, Ian?
Nope.
No? Well,
Nope.
Until next time.
Talk to y'all later.
Peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, them niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bruh. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck.